It's officially that time of year, Christmas DIY season. I've been busy creating a few high-end holiday looks that are easy and affordable to make at home, from Pottery Barn inspired decor to simple giftable ornaments. These are the kind of projects that make your home feel festive and personal. There's even something for the kiddos to make, and like my Halloween series, I'm giving away a few of my Christmas DIYs this month. I can't keep them all, and it's such a fun way to give back. Just make sure you're subscribed and comment below which one's your favorite. Every comment is an entry. Now grab your coffee, get comfy, and let's dive in. So this DIY inspiration comes from Pottery Barn and Magnolia framed ornaments. I thought they were beautiful and would make such great gifts, but I knew we could do it much cheaper. So I picked up these little 2x3 frames from the Dollar Tree, and then I spotted some plastic ones at Target from their dollar spot for $1. I liked the detail on the frame. And the first thing I'm going to do to improve the way these frames look is to paint them with some black chalk paint and then add some rub and buff, and we'll be halfway there. I also decided to paint one antique white just to see if it would change how it looked. This is a necessary step in order for rub and buff to adhere to plastic. You have to either sand or paint the piece, and I personally feel that chalk paint works the best. I also decided to paint the backs of the frames because I'm giving them as gifts and because you might see them on the tree. Now, when it comes to adding images, you can do so many things. A pressed flower, a memento of a special date or a hobby. For kids, maybe their favorite sport or ballet shoes, or simply add some Christmas images. The possibilities are endless, and they make great gifts for just about anyone. I decided to make one of my son's dog for a stocking stuffer, and my fiance's getting an Ohio State ornament, plus I'm framing a ticket from our very first date. To size the photos just right, I like to use Canva. It makes customizing super easy. And if you like this idea but don't want to make the frame yourself, Amazon has some really beautiful options, and they are much cheaper than Pottery Barn and Magnolia. I'll make sure to link them below. After I painted everything, I did use an X-Acto knife to clear out the openings of the target frames. I had a feeling that I could have taken off the backs, but I didn't want to force it, so I just kind of painted over it. And on the Dollar Tree frame, I needed to figure out a way to add a ribbon for hanging. So I took an eye hook from one of their picture frame kits that they sell in the hardware section. It was easy. You just start the hole by twisting and wiggling, and then when you have like a little dip, you just start twisting it, and then it goes right in. There's no need to drill a pilot hole. It worked perfectly. Then for the rub and buff, I just love this stuff. I used the color gold leaf, and I'll link it below. And now for the images and the ribbons to hang, and we're done. The project was so simple and gratifying, partly because I made something special for those I love, and also because I saved a lot of money in the process. And here they are, all styled. If you try this one, let me know in the comments. I'd love to know what you'll put inside your frame, and will you keep it for yourself or give them as gifts? The next DIY was inspired by the Pottery Barn curtain wall art, and it retails for $279 and is new this year at Pottery Barn. But when I saw it, I knew we could easily recreate it for much less. So my supplies for the holiday curtain by Pottery Barn are coming along. I got this set of logs or branches from Goodwill about 6 months ago before the prices went up there, and I only paid $3.99. I thought that was a great deal. I really needed those too because I live in South Florida and it's just not possible to go out in the yard and get a branch like that. And then I stopped at Hobby Lobby to get the jute cord because we're going to need quite a bit of that. And also Dollar Tree did not have their die cut snowflakes yet, so I picked those up from Hobby Lobby. They were 50% off. They're having such a great sale there. So get over there and get your supplies, because I'll tell you what, they're not going to last long. I think by Thanksgiving, they'll be gone. A lot of it will be gone. And anyway, so the snowflakes were $2.50 each, so $5 for those. I got this gorgeous star. It's metal from Walmart. This was $2.19. The inspiration has the 8-point star, and I didn't really see any of those, so I thought the 5 points would be fine. This came from the thrift store with that big bag of ornaments that I had. Then I've got the bells from Dollar Tree, and I need one more because I just noticed on the inspiration that there are 3 bells. So we're gonna get started with this as soon as I get that 3rd bell, and then we'll start with removing the glitter from the bells and the snowflakes. And real quick, I'm taking 2 of these branches and we'll cut off about 6 inches and use some wood glue, and I'll glue them together. I'm also having to make my version a little shorter because of the wall it's going on. And that's the beauty of DIY. You get to customize to your needs. So now I've got all the tags and embellishments off of everything. I lightly sanded the snowflakes and then quickly realized I was not going to be getting the glitter off the bells. So I spray painted the bells Champagne Gold by Rust-Oleum, which I'll link below, and I actually ended up loving how rustic the bells looked once spray painted. The glitter gave it some great texture. And for the stars, I used the color Cottage White by Behr. I wanted to keep the snowflakes like the inspiration, which is a natural wood color, so I painted them a mixture of khaki and territorial beige by Apple Barrel, and that worked out pretty well. As for the branch, I hot glued the end and just started wrapping it tightly, making sure not to overlap. It went a lot quicker than I anticipated. It only took me about a half hour to wrap the entire thing. At the end, I just hot glued it. Actually, the only hot glue I used was at the beginning and the end. And this part of the project reminded me of that yarn craft we used to do in the 70s. Does anyone remember that? So here's everything so far. Off camera, I added sawtooth hangers to 2 Jenga blocks and then glued them to the branch for easy hanging. And you're going to want it to come away from the wall a bit so everything hangs right. A quick tip, if you use the Dollar Tree bells, sometimes getting the twine through the top has been a struggle, but with some tweezers, it makes it easy to pull through. And now with the colors, I'm pretty happy with how they are looking except for the metal star. So I'm going to quickly give it what I call an antique wash to tone down the color. The inspiration has variations of colors also. So all you do for the wash is take a water-based wax. Today I'm using Folk Art Dark Wax and some water. Brush it on and wipe it off. Super easy, and it does a great job of distressing and toning down the piece. I then wanted to make my Jenga blocks blend in just in case you'd be able to see it on the wall. So I took a mixture of khaki and the dark wax, and that got the color pretty close. And as I was getting everything ready to tie on the branch, I noticed that the inspiration bells were a bit shinier than mine. So with some gold leaf rub and buff, I made mine shinier, and then I was done. I was really surprised how easy this project was. And here's how it looks on my wall. I'm obsessed with how this turned out, and I'm taking it down for now, but I can't wait to make it a part of my Christmas decor this year and for years to come. And the best part, mine only cost around $20. The next DIY is inspired by something I spotted at Hobby Lobby and thought we can do that. It's also a great craft for the kiddos. So you're going to want to start with a jingle bell at least 3 inches in diameter. You can pretty much get them anywhere. Mine came from Dollar Tree, but I've seen them at Hobby Lobby and Walmart. For convenience, I'll link to some on Amazon too. The supplies for this DIY are simple. Besides the jingle bell, you will need black, red, and silver paint, and some baker's twine for hanging, which Dollar Tree sells, or you could use twine or ribbon, or whatever you have. Start with painting your bell red. Mine has glitter on it, and it took 1 coat of paint with a little touch-up afterwards. Once it was dry, we're going to give Santa a belt. You could use even a Sharpie. I decided to freehand with black paint and was not doing a good job until I remembered a tip from years ago. Lay the piece down and let the paintbrush do the work, meaning don't try and manipulate the brush. Let the brush just lay down its footprint. I hope that makes sense, and I was able to capture it on camera, and if you mess up, it's no big deal to touch up. This project is super forgiving. Once the black paint has dried, it's time to give Santa a buckle with some silver paint. Just take your time and paint a square. Again, it's super easy. Then add your baker's twine. I doubled mine up and had to use tweezers to get the twine pulled through. And just like that, the Santa jingle bell is done. I think he turned out so cute, and the kids are going to love him too. He's perfect for the tree, but would also look adorable tied on top of a present or a gift bag with a bow. If you're new here, I always like to include what I call a no DIY DIY. It's something that doesn't require any glue or paint, but still feels creative and special. Today I want to show you a super easy and thoughtful gift you can put together in just a few minutes, and that's gifting Christmas ornaments. It's such a personal idea, and it's actually a trend for this year also. And now's the perfect time to start getting ornaments before everything gets picked over, because you might want to tailor it to the person you're giving it to. And for this one, it's also about the presentation. Think of how high-end stores package their ornaments. You don't even need a fancy box. Any box will do. Just add a little tissue paper and some shreds for padding. Since my box doesn't have a lid, I'm going to be wrapping it in cellophane and finishing it off with a bow, maybe even another ornament on top for an extra festive touch. It's such a simple way to make someone feel thought of, a small gift that feels meaningful, personal, and made with love. And speaking of trends, one that was big last year but is even bigger this year is bows. What I love about this trend is how easy and inexpensive it is to refresh what you already have, just by adding a bow or changing up the color. For example, if most of your decor is gold or green, you can instantly update the look by adding red bows to your ornaments, garland, or wreaths. Dollar Tree also has always had tons of options, and they've really stepped it up over the years. You can even check thrift stores for ribbon or fabric to turn into custom bows. And this brings me to our next DIY. These simple, elegant bow ornaments inspired by the trend and the beautiful ones I've spotted at many high-end stores, and they are super easy to make. All you need is some ribbon. I picked this one up at Hobby Lobby for a half price, so it was $3, and you get 21 feet of velvet ribbon. The spool will make 8 bows, and you will need to grab some small clothespins from the Dollar Tree and some glue. If you're using the same 21 feet of ribbon, you will measure out 31 inches. This gets us the size of the Magnolia bows. If you want ones with longer tails, I would add another 10 to 20 inches. Now, since the ribbon is velvet, it only has one decorative side, so go slow and make sure to twist so that all the good sides are always showing. It can take a couple of tries, but it's not hard to do. Oh, and don't forget, I'm giving away a few of my Christmas DIYs this month. Just make sure you're subscribed and leave a comment below to enter. Now, one last thing, and the one detail I have noticed with all the high-end bows is that they are dovetailed. So before we glue the ribbon to the clothespin, you will fold the ribbon and at an angle, cut where you have folded, and you end up with the most perfect dovetail. Now, I'm using hot glue for purposes of video, but for long-time use of these bows, I think a more permanent glue like E6000 would be better. And just like that, we're done. I think these bows look just like the inspiration, high-end and beautiful, but they only cost about 60 cents each. You can use them to decorate your tree, ornaments, garland, or even dress up a present. They're such a simple project, but they add so much charm, and you don't need to spend a lot to make your home feel festive and special. The antique ornament DIY are inspired by these beautiful Rizzo textured Christmas ornaments by Leanne Ford at Crate & Barrel. I just fell in love with the look of them. So I'm getting ready to do 2 different paint techniques on these bulbs. And I decided to go to the thrift store yesterday, and I was able to find this huge bag of bulbs for $2.99. I was particularly interested in the star. I'm going to use that on a different project, but I also really liked this, I don't even know, this shape bulb. And then I liked the star, and then we're going to use the other ones. We're going to do this technique, like I said, that I did 25 years ago. So I also found this box of ornaments. I thought they were pretty interesting. We can do something with them. I really liked the top of them. These were 50% off. They were red tag day, so those were $2. And then I went and got the clear bulbs from Walmart. They are cheaper than Dollar Tree. They're pretty large, and they were 6 for like $6.27. Then I bought 2 of the, the Christmas light balls, right? I don't know. From Dollar Tree, got 2 of those. Those are $1.50 this year. And then we've got some styrofoam, and I save everything. So I have this little piece of foam that I'm gonna try to stick the ornaments on and see how that works. just to keep them stable. So yeah, we're gonna go out back and do that. And I have right now, I've got some black semi-gloss paint. I've got a gloss black. I also have a dark Kona brown, metallic silver, and a metallic gold. I may grab my flat black, but I think that'll cover it. I might grab my bronze as well. So we'll see what happens when we get going with the project, and I'll let you know once we get out there. All right, see you in the backyard. Okay, so I just want to show you my setup before I start. I've got my paints ready, the ones I think I might use, and I'll let you know which ones I do use. And then I've separated the bulbs into like 3 groupings, and I'll move them around just so I can start the base coat with different colors. So one I'll start with a brown, one I'll start with a black, and then maybe one with a gold. So we'll see how that goes. And also those homemade ornaments that I had, they didn't have a place for a skewer. So I ended up just having to set them on the foam. Just, you know, hopefully those will work out okay, but we'll see what happens. So here we go. So I did end up grabbing my champagne gold, bronze, and copper paint. And the whole process is to start out spraying your desired base coat. And once they're dry, we'll take 2 different water bottles that have different types of sprayers and spray the ornaments. And while they're wet, we'll hit the ornaments again with a complementary color. You're basically distressing them with this technique. I'm speeding up the process for you, but it's just about layering the paint and water until you're happy with the way it looks. And it's all personal preference. In the end, I like the ones that I sprayed a lot of water on the best. You might like it with less water. It's trial and error, and you can't make a mistake. Just have fun with it. And to finish off the tops, the shiny silver no longer worked with the ornaments. So I used my rub and buff in this color Spanish copper, and somehow I don't have footage of that. But the color was a perfect fit for the now rustic ornaments, and I'll make sure to link that color below. And here they are. I just love how rustic and elegant they turned out. Each one has its own texture and personality, and together they look like something you'd find in a high-end boutique. I placed mine in a dough bowl, and I think they make such a beautiful gift-worthy display. Simple, timeless, and full of that cozy vintage charm. They'd look stunning on a tree, in a centerpiece, or even as part of a holiday tablescape. Honestly, it's hard to believe these started out as basic plastic ornaments. And that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.